Time to do some scary stuff. I'll tell you what, I think the Low End Radio Studios qualifies as being scary. Greetings, viewers. This is CP666 signing on for a studio tour. Just updated. Usually on Halloween, I've got a big project. I remember one year, where did I put it? I don't know, I haven't used it in a while. Oh, it's on the floor. One year I had this Kodak camera. The floor is a mess, I had to clean it up, but I had that Kodak camera, brought that back to life. One year I had the Data Breaks Win tablet, which is unfortunately no longer with us because it stopped working. I forget what the year last year's was, but this year I don't really have anything that's interesting that I could do a project with. I mean, I got computers in this stack here that I could certainly work on. I've got computers here that I could work on. Like this one, I could actually do something with this, but I don't feel like it. Haven't picked up any more clock radios. I know that's a surprise, isn't it? But I'm thinking of replacing this one with something else. I just haven't done it yet because I'm lazy. This one loses time. I don't know what the problem is. I had this one set perfectly in time with this one. It's already lost a minute. It's only been 2 weeks, so that's why that one's got to go. But I think for this, we're just going to do a little studio tour. Just show things off, what's going on. I probably shouldn't show this. Humongous evil cable mess, most of which has not even got anything to do with the studio. I'm sure that'll get some electricians up in arms. This is the primary studio UPS. It's a 1000 volt amp. I think it's about 500 watts. Works well, holds things up for about 5 minutes, which is more than good enough to finish a song and then cut the show off if need be. Fortunately, I've never had to actually demonstrate that live. Here's the second UPS. Both of those were thrift store finds. I think I have maybe $12 in both UPSs in purchase costs, and then I put a battery in the other one, so that was about another $20. So I got about $32 in both UPSs combined. This is the stream encoding computer. It hasn't really changed. I tried to put Windows 7 on it. That was a complete failure because there's no driver for the sound card. It's got an Arial Vortex 2 sound card in it. I also don't think there was a driver for the Hop-Age TV card, but it doesn't really matter that much. If there's no driver for the sound card, it's not going to work anyway. And it was 64-bit Windows, so you couldn't really use the 32-bit driver. Maybe you can. I've never had any luck with that. It usually just rejects those because it's 32-bit. But anyway, this is the soundboard computer, a Dell Optiplex GX280. I've got these on right now because it's freezing cold. It's only 70 degrees in here. I've got these on producing heat with Prime 95 right now because it's really cold. It's only 21 degrees in here. Almost 22, but pretty cold. At least for me, anyway. This does broadcasting to the audio only, the low-end radio audio only. The HP DX5150. Haven't really done much with it. I did upgrade the memory, though. This one does the slideshows. The Optiplex GX270. I think the last time I did an update video. I know the that thing, the Northern Micro Spirit, was in the studio for a while, but it stopped working, and I got pissed off with it and threw it across the room. So the machine still works. Well, actually, I don't know about that, but I bent the case out of shape, and I bent it back into shape, so it at least looks good. Equipment-wise, I don't really know what has changed otherwise. I mean, here's the stack of CD changers. This is the Pioneer. What is this? This is a PD M423. I'm thinking of replacing that with the PD M6, but I don't think it's going to offer me anything more than what I already have. This is a Kenwood DPR891. 5 discs. This is 6 discs. It's got the 6-disc magazine. And here is a Yamaha Natural Sound CDC 585. Here's a single disc player, SLP230 from Technics. Here's the Proton 740. Lovely cassette deck. I love the crap out of this thing. It makes my life so much easier when queuing. And I actually changed out the RSTR 270 for this, the 170, because I want the other deck for recording. Because it's got HX Pro on the record deck, which is a feature that I actually like to have. let's move on. There's some studio lighting stuff there. There's the music player computer. The Gateway Profile 4. It's working well. I did change out the monitor. This is a Dell something. I don't remember the model number. It's one of those really nice Dell monitors. This one, the Samsung SyncMaster, is here. Although it's got a crack in the display, I'm thinking of replacing it. There's a studio clock. There's a couple of mice for the studio and a Sun Microsystems mouse pad. There's a network switch for all the studio stuff. Up here is the other monitor, the NEC Multisync. It's the only one that actually fits up here. All the 17-inchers don't. This is a 15-inch monitor. There's the racks for storing CDs and tapes that I'm using on the show. Moving along, we've got the 3 video switches. This is the primary one. There's Nokia semi-automated. You can push it and it automatically switches amongst these. Not like, it doesn't cycle through them, but there's logic involved in it. When you turn one off, it goes to the next one, and so on and so forth, in the order that they come up. It does the same thing when you turn something on, it goes to that input. And I guess it keeps a memory of that. Here's a second switch. It's just an X-Tech 4-port. What did I pay for this damn thing anyway? $4. $4 for that. I think I paid another $4 for this one. It's 5 ports. I'm only using 2 things on that, though. It's kind of a waste. At the back, there is the Behringer Xenix 1002FX. I'm not using the FX processor on it anymore because I've changed my audio setup a little bit. Here's the primary mixer, 1204 USB. I love this mixer. It's a great mixer. The only problem is that the power cord is not quite long enough. I'm going to have to get a longer power cord for that. Something I added recently is this Technics, this is from Ross, this Technics, what's the model on this thing anyway? I don't remember. It should say on it somewhere. I can't read it. The video switch is in the way. Well, I guess it's not important. It's a Technics graphic equalizer. I've got it set up to really boost the bass and slight boost in the treble. I think it sounds good. Most people have also said that it sounds good, so that's good. And then we've got this VCR. I really need to get a better VCR than this piece of junk, but I want one that's stereo. Because I do every once in a while play something with sound on it, and mono VCR doesn't really work for that. So I think, last but not least, I need to show off the camcorders, which haven't really changed. Actually, they haven't. I don't think they've changed at all. This is still the equipment camera. Unfortunately, the halogen spotlight on it died. It burned out, ran out of life. Oh well, it's not a big loss, but it does kind of affect the performance of this thing because this thing is awful in low light. I'm thinking of changing this camera and this one. This is the roving camera. Got a bad tape basket, so it stays in the studio. It still records and everything, but it just has it's got a real problem with closing the tape basket, and it doesn't open properly either. So I use it for that. I'm thinking of putting that on this instead and switching those two around, but I haven't done it yet because the cord on this is actually fairly short, which doesn't really work too well for studio purposes or for roving camera purposes. Here's a light in the studio. I almost forgot about these. I got a couple of them lying around. There's another one down there. It's actually kind of useless. It mostly points at the KVM switch that's down there, which I still do have hooked up. It's only got 2 things on it now. This and this. I'm thinking of putting another monitor on this one so I can put it up there. But I don't know yet. There's not really a lot of space. I'm going to have to start making some space for some of this stuff. Over here is the Sony Handycam CCD TRV-72 that looks at the second mixer. In fact, we could turn it on and show you exactly what it sees. That's all it looks at. This is the secondary DJ shot camera. This is the... What is this? This is a PVIQ 403, I believe. It came from Ross. It doesn't record. This one also does not record. This is the Sony Handycam CCD TR36. This is the primary DJ shot. And this is the primary mixer shot. Yes, there's some junk in there that I had to clean up. But anyway, this rather well worn but still inexplicably working JVC Everio GZ E200. I ripped the display off because this fell off the shelf at one point, fell off of this table, and the screen cracked and the digitizer broke, so that's kind of useless. So I just ripped it off. I should probably get a new one, but as it turns out, you can't actually get them, so that kind of sucks. It's got a little extender on the cable, because once again, this cable's not really long enough for this. And that's pretty well it for all the studio stuff. The only other thing I really think I should mention is this is used to keep track of all the playlists. So, this video is drug out to almost 11 minutes in length, so I'm going to cut it off right here. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. And this is CP666 signing off. Hope to see you next time. Till then, hopefully it'll be something more interesting.